Ooh, it feels good. Welcome everyone to the Rotary Club of York. I am your club president, Aaron Jacobs, and it's a great day to be a Rotarian. You know, a lot of people ask me what makes our club so special, and it's not just the fact that we're a large club. It's not the fact that we have great programs, but it's the fact that we fill this room every week with some of the kindest, generous, and hardworking community servants in all of York. Can I get an amen? All right. We believe in service above self, but more importantly, we follow the four-way test, if you will, with me. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? I believe today's program from Police Commissioner Muldrow and his project will serve as a great example of the four-way test. And I am just as excited to hear about this. But let's get our program started today with some great, true, outstanding Rotarians. We'll have our opening song, God Bless America and the Pledge of Allegiance by Steve Feldman, followed by the invocation by past District Governor Dick Brown and visitor introductions from Dee Baker. Steve.
Like last week, I had to wait until Aaron told me what I was singing. So please join me with God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you reflect with me, please? From the Old Testament, they will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not take up sword against nation, nor will they train for war anymore. And from the New Testament, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. As Rotarians, steeped in all the great religions of the world, may we always embrace reconciliation and peace. Help us to take seriously your call to live in harmony and with one another, especially when we are tempted to fight fire with fire. And for those among us that are charged professionally with turning conflict into peace and ill thoughts into peaceful reconciliation, in the true spirit of brother and sisterhood, we thank them for their dedication to this cause. Thank you for providing nourishing food to sustain us in our Rotary quest to be peacemakers in turbulent times. Amen.
Hi, everyone. I am pleased to have the honor of introducing our guests for today's meeting. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing until President Aaron has welcomed you. These are guests of Michael Muldrow, Dan Lentz, Blonda Nace, Diaz Woodward, Dave Sunday. Guests of Youth Leadership, Rosie Mulligan, James Mulligan, Michelle Mulligan, Ashlyn Mulligan, Kyle Scott, Paul Scott, Allie Scott, Jennifer Scott, and Katie Doyle. Ricky Gray II, guest of Ted Montre, Russ Reeser, guest of Amy Wanamaker, Garth Barclay, guest of past District Governor Ben Hoover, Cora Taylor, guest of Andy Rawitz, and Nicole Marzocco, guest of Frank Countess.
So guests, I'm really glad someone took the time to invite you to our program today. Cora, it's great to see you back again. Been a while. If it's your first time visiting with us, I hope you enjoy the food, the fellowship, and today's program. If this is your second time back, welcome back. If it's your third time, it's time to talk about being a Rotarian. Dave Sunday, how many times you visit this club? This is my promise to the Rotary Club of York. Before my term, this man will be a member of the Rotary Club of York. All right. I hate to make you applause again, but let's welcome our guest today. It's a fun club. And we've got announcements. The IDEA committee will meet on March 4th. That's next week, 8 a.m. via Zoom. The fundraising events committee will meet on March 6th at 11 a.m. here at the Country Club of York. This is a pretty good one here. On March 23rd, all Rotarians in our district, which is District 7390, are invited to attend the District Learning Assembly on Saturday morning, March 23rd, held at the Central Penn College in Summerdale. There is a registration fee for this, but it will be covered by our Rotary Club. Check out the announcers for more specific topics on this, and I will let you know that yours truly will be there as one of the guest speakers to talk about how to grow Rotary membership, because we are one of the leaders in our district in growing membership. Applause. There you go. They do follow direction. At this time, I'd like to invite Tim Staub to the podium to do our Students of the Month. Tim.
Thank you, President Aaron. Rotarians, I'm pleased to introduce you to Rosie Mulligan and Kyle Scott. I will preface this say that I've known these two individuals for quite some time. Rosie is actually one of my daughter's best friends. And Kyle, I have the luxury of having him as a captain on the soccer team I coach. A quick aside on Kyle, he's the first student that I've coached that has given me directions for starting lineups. He has great leadership skills. So Rosie's going to speak first, and our parents, James and Michelle, are here with us. Rosie is quite busy. She's a member, a student ambassador, yearbook staff member, film club member, student council, varsity soccer, Girl Scouts, National Honor Society, Diversity Club, musical and service club. One thing I will say about both these students, they're not only involved in these organizations, but they're actually in leadership positions in both of these and most of these organizations. Kyle is the son of Paul and Jen Scott, and Kyle is also on student council, National Honor Society. He's a varsity lacrosse player. He was voted varsity lacrosse offensive most valuable player in his sophomore year. Again, he's on the JV and varsity soccer teams at York Catholic and captain. He's a Boy Scout and served in many different roles there. He is an award winner at a science fair where he received the U.S. Air Force Certificate of Achievement for Outstanding Project in the field of engineering. He's on the ping pong club, prom committee, Spanish club, and once in a while he does his homework. Rosie.
Hello, my name is Rosie Mulligan, and firstly, I would like to express how excited and grateful I am for this opportunity to be speaking in front of you all today and to be going to RILA over the summer. It is truly an honor. As for a little bit about me, I'm 17 and proudly attend York Catholic High School and have since I was in 7th grade. I like to be involved with pretty much everything and anything my school has to offer. As Mr. Staub mentioned, I'm a part of the executive board for our student ambassador program, a member of student council, editor of the yearbook, co-president of film club, varsity soccer player, National Honor Society, and you get the picture. I also work a part-time job at a pizza shop where I recently became a manager and am currently involved in my school's musical Footloose as well, which actually opens this Friday if anybody is looking for a little weekend entertainment. As you can see, I like to keep myself busy and give 100% of myself in whatever I do. I can attribute a lot of this mindset to Girl Scouts, an organization of which I've been a part of since I was about this tall. Girl Scouts has implemented a deep love for my community and a desire to give back in any way I can. A large chunk of my service has gone directly back into my school in setting up events such as our school's Many-thon, giving tours to prospective families, and participating in school-wide cleanups. I get to give back to a place that has fostered my learning and given me some of my fondest memories, which is something I really enjoy. In my community, my favorite place to volunteer is Creative York, an art gallery downtown, but I also enjoy altar serving at my troop and serving through my Girl Scout troop, or serving at my church, sorry, and serving with my Girl Scout troop. Whether it's in my school community or out in the world, I enjoy pushing myself and others around me to challenge themselves and to live to their fullest potential. I know that once I graduate from York Catholic and move on to the next phase of my life, this desire to lead and to help others is something that I will be taking with me. That is why I'm so beyond grateful for this opportunity to strengthen my ability to do just that and to grow within myself. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kyle Scott, and I just want to start off like Rosie and thank all of you for allowing me to experience something this valuable that I believe will truly help me grow as a better person. I know me and Rosie are very and greatly honored for this opportunity. Now, I've been told to talk to you all about service that I've done in my community. So here we go. As you may or may not know, community service is a large part of attending York Catholic High School. In middle school, it is required that a student completes 12 hours of community service, and it becomes 16 for senior high. Looking back, I realize that I have been so involved in my community that I have never had to worry about meeting this requirement. When I was younger, for years, I always used to help my mom and her youth program at Cromwell Valley Park in Maryland. We'd go up on Saturday mornings, get straight to work, cleaning up trash, watering plants, moving dirt, and fixing up things around the park. More recently, over the last summers, I've helped out my local volunteer fire company at their annual carnival where I was assigned miscellaneous tasks to help things run smoothly. In one of my first community service projects for my school, I helped my classmates over the summer, just before my freshman year, prepare our turf field for the upcoming school year. And now, as of last year, my younger sister has been attending York Catholic, and your sports have opened up a lot of opportunities for me to service my community. I've been to almost every basketball game of hers, and I've helped out her team by both keeping the scorebook at away games and running the concession stand at home games. Now, lastly, I would like to touch on my service as a Boy Scout, where I'm a life rank, the one just before Eagle. To Scouts, service to one another is the most important idea taught in the process of becoming an Eagle Scout. It is part of the oath, which starts, "On my honor, I will do my best to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times." Through my almost 6 years as a Boy Scout, I have helped out at plenty of different Eagle Scout projects, such as cleaning and marking trails for Eden Mill Park, creating a rosary walk for a church, building owl boxes, bat boxes, and benches. And right now, I'm working on my own Eagle Scout project. It was recently approved, and I'm currently working to restore a large bird of prey cage for Cromwell Valley Park, the one I have volunteered at my whole life. All these opportunities I've had to better my community through Boy Scouts, school, my positions on student council, and my sports teams have truly shown me the benefits of helping others, and I plan on volunteering my time in any way I can. Again, thank you all for allowing me and Rosie to attend this wonderful conference and bettering ourselves so that we can do better for the people around us. Thank you.
These exceptional individuals have exemplified dedication, leadership, academic excellence in all the facets of their school life, and their unwavering commitment to personal growth and betterment of our community sets an inspiring example for us all. We highlight their achievements not just to recognize what they've received today, but for the journey of hard work and perseverance that brought them to this moment. Keep up the good work, and congratulations to our Students of the Month. Before we get to our program, I wanted to give you a heads up about next week. We are going to recognize International Women's Day. It's a global day of celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for accelerating women's equality, and we invite Rotarians, both men and women, to wear the color purple to next week's meeting in solidarity to celebrate this special day. And at this point in time, speaking of exceptional women, I'd like to invite Madam Past President Jackie Summers to the podium to introduce our program. Jackie.
It is always such a challenge to follow the Students of the Month. You two are absolutely exceptional, and you have a very bright future, and we have a very bright future because of you. Thank you. Continued success to you. Michael Muldrow grew up in York City and has fond memories of playing basketball in Bance Park. Kids always identified with the park where they played, so he grew up as a Bance Park kid. Today, one of our Rotary Little League fields is located there. Michael has a passion for art, and when he was younger, he happily envisioned himself becoming a starving artist. But his great respect for his father led him into law enforcement, where he ultimately worked alongside his dad for 8 years, 5 of those as a patrolman. His father was a highly regarded police officer, and Michael's professional personality blossomed through his father's teaching. He learned that there are 2 kinds of policing: policing through the letter of the law and policing through the spirit of the law. He chose the latter, which addresses the human equation. The belief is that people sometimes make mistakes, and everyone is just one decision away from getting into trouble. Every day he strives to do the job with a level of grace and empathy. Michael worked for a brief time for the Children's Home of York with at-risk teenagers, which led him to the York City School District. He has the ability to connect with young people and help them communicate and sort out their issues. He's credited with building a campus school-based police department, which was honored with the Model Agency Award by the National Association of School Resource Officers, and he was awarded a regional honor as its founder. He often sees former students, now adults, who approach him and thank him for the impact he had on their lives. He became commissioner of the York City Police Department in 2020 and wrote his 5-year plan on a whiteboard. Many of those goals were realized in year 3, including the growth of the department from 82 officers to 115. He is particularly proud of the Hospital Officer Resource Program and the creation of the Dog Therapy Program. Police dogs hadn't been used since the race riots, which had lasting ramifications. However, he successfully campaigned to reinstate them in police work by identifying the many ways they could offer support. Today, the police are not only using therapy dogs in the hospital, but also in schools, nursing homes, and at crime scenes, anywhere a dog can de-escalate a situation. The department has installed security cameras to help citizens feel safe, and there's momentum building around the neighborhood walks where police cars are parked and officers walk through neighborhoods, often accompanied by a growing number of citizens. It is obvious Chief Muldrow cares deeply for York City, and especially children and young adults, and the community has a resounding love for the commissioner and his department. I had the opportunity to witness this firsthand last summer when we were sitting at an outdoor restaurant having lunch together. I don't think a minute passed without a passerby stopping to say hello or shake his hand. It was a long lunch. He frequently states how grateful he is to his department and his community. Today, the commissioner, along with his key program leads, will share the progress of the department and the development of the Rotary-supported York City Police REPROGRAM Rec Center Project. I hope you enjoyed that member moment as much as I did sharing it with you. Remember those a few years ago? Rotarians and guests, please join me in welcoming York City Police Commissioner and fellow Rotarian, Michael Muldrow.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I have to be mindful of my time to make sure we get everything in. But I am extremely humbled and appreciative to be back here yet again after the last time that I was here to present. And I'm excited about today as we're going to kick things off, giving you a brief sense, a little overview of the things we've been able to accomplish since I first joined you speaking about what I intended to do with the police department. So with that, to summarize some of those highlights of the things we've been able to pull off in about the last 3.5 years, I'd like to introduce you to a young man that could probably say it better than myself. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Muldrow, the Commissioner of the York City Police Department. I'm so happy to have a few minutes in front of you today. Happy not only to talk to you about the things we're doing as a department, but even more, I'm excited to talk about what we're seeing happening around this community. See, we've done a lot of good things in the course of these first 3 years. Good things that could only have been accomplished working with incredible people like you. Slowly but surely, we're changing hearts, changing minds, changing what law enforcement looks like, and helping change this place we've all come to work, play, live, and call home. We have a police department who's going from 4% representative of underrepresented populations and minorities to nearly 30%. The national average is only 10. A police department with a 90% approval rating, 4.5 out of 5 stars from our customer interaction surveys. A detective bureau with an 80% clearance rating, as the national average is only around 55. And thanks to TIFLO and our GBI outreach team, the courageous and exceptional effort of our violence intervention street unit, and the direct impact we've seen from the additional control officers on the street over the course of this year, we've seen a 60% reduction in shootings and a 75% reduction in homicides. Coincidentally, as the mayor said, the best numbers this department has seen since the beginning years ago of the GBI program. I see a department that's catching the attention of Harrisburg City government and the governor's office and leaders in cities all around the U.S. like Pine Bluff, Lancaster, Baltimore, Reading, and North Carolina, all while still being most proud of the positive outreach we have built to engage this community. Outreach that allows us to foster goodwill and positive equity with our stakeholders. And we do this with programs and initiatives like our new video game trailer, and our third therapy dog, working with funders like Powder Mill Warehouse, YCEA, the York Foundation, PCCD, and WellSpan to provide these and other opportunities and resources. Resources like free security cameras for seniors, teaching CPR, offering workforce scholarships to the gang members and crime victims to stop the spiral of trauma and get at-risk youth off the streets and out of life of crime. These are all the ambitious community events we're now being known for things like the Community Christmas Calendar, the Santa Drive-By, youth supporting outreach opportunities at York High, our weekly neighborhood walks, and the phenomenon known as the City Ball Fest. And as I look forward to the upcoming year, this department's 275th anniversary and all the wonderful things that lie ahead, I ask you to take a walk with me and see what I see in my community. See, I see new interventions coming to help deal with the residual issues caused by our homelessness problem. I see shorter wait times and officers being even more efficient as we push to roll out things like our better scheduling and overlap shift. A shift that would put nearly 17 officers on the street at one time, every day through our business hours. And tapping into a virtual resource with the introduction of telepolicing, a potential revolution to our industry, and a first that will happen right here in York. I see a different and more restorative way coming to support families, deal with delinquent juveniles, and the behaviors that youth bring, with the introduction of our state funding, Principal in the Community, Restorative Justice Project, and a safe space, a free space for positive adults and providers that do things and offer things to engage youth with our New York City Police REPROGRAM Rec Center. I see people's trauma being addressed in the moment, more thoughtfully, more empathetically, and more effectively than ever before. When I look around, I see partnerships, possibilities, and potential. I see people coming together and getting behind what we do with support like we've never seen before. I see people overcoming, a community reaching new heights. I see bridges being built and goals being accomplished. I'm seeing old faces in leadership trying new things, embracing the unconventional, and new leaders, the next generation, stepping up, stepping out, and learning from the examples they set. I see new life in old spaces. I'm seeing art everywhere, with beautiful images being made by beautiful people, of beautiful people, for beautiful people. I see a hospital that's making a habit out of saving people from all manner of atrocities, pushing, growing, expanding, while still taking the time to invest in your neighborhoods and the people who live there. I see a community that's destined to be known for more than just gun violence, and a police department determined to be seen as more than just the agency that locks people up. I see people that understand the importance of reputation and are committed to really helping build our York brand. I see a great place to grab a cup of coffee with a brother from another mother. Have a great meal with someone special. Snuggle up and read a book with a little one. Or get out and go for a run with friends. See people making time for other people. And the people who have, creating opportunities for the people who don't. I'm seeing our homes spreading their wings and taking on even bigger challenges. And I see the educational system that's determined to help kids win. Ladies and gentlemen, I see change happening. Old space is coming back to life. And dreams coming true. I'm feeling what community is supposed to feel like. What legacy is supposed to look like. I'm seeing the habits of good plans of great people come together to do something special. I'm seeing a place where people want to visit and a place where others are proud to live. I'm seeing the York I knew, the York I grew up in, and the York we all can see. A York that's good for all people, not just some people. A York people want to invest in. A York worth fighting for, worth believing in. and a group that evokes a sense of pride. See it take shape. Now, when I walk around for the first time in a long time, I see hope. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know we're not quite there yet. I know there's still work to be done. But because of everything all of us in this room do in this community, I'm absolutely certain we're going to get there. And you really want to walk around a town like that. Thank you. Man, it's funny. I find myself, I still get emotional when I look back on everything that we've been able to accomplish in such a short time. The homicide rate, what we've been able to do with diversity in our department, the approval rating, and how people in this community now feel about the men and women that wear this patch. I am extremely proud of everything that we've done thus far. And I'm excited about where we're going next. To be able to speak to you about that a little bit today, I'd like to bring up with me the rest of my team, beginning with Captain Dan Lentz, if you'll join me. I would say get yourself ready to see this face a lot because I have big plans for him in the time to come. Also joining us today to talk about our next is D.S. Woodard. If you can join us, please. Last but not least, also from city government, if Blandon Ace could come up with us, please. To cover and speak about a little bit about the our next, the program that is our recreational center, the REPROGRAM Recreational Center. I'd like to introduce these gentlemen and let them take it away.
How can you follow a video like that? Every time I see the video, I'm like, man, this should be a commercial. Like, welcome to New York City. This is what we have going on. Good afternoon, everyone. I thought it only fitting and appropriate for me to give you a brief background on the program. We've been here about maybe 2 or 3 times that we discussed it, but we haven't really given you a background. So 10 plus years ago, I worked at what I would consider one of the best out of school time programs in the city. This program serviced about 100 to 150 students daily in 6th through 12th grade with amazing, successful outcomes. When this program was dismantled due to unforeseen circumstances, I promised myself that I would one day replicate the program in some form with adding elements that I thought were missing that would make it increasingly successful. I began outlining what I then called the program. The program is an acronym that stands for Teaching Persistence, Resilience to Overcome Generational Roadblocks, Anticipating Miracles. The program is an art-based recreational center with a therapeutic component. 2 years ago, I presented this idea to Commissioner Muldrow and REPROGRAM was born. So as you all know, we have since secured some pilot funding and have found a home. We still have a ways to go, but until then, until we are able to operate out of the location, we plan on introducing this to the city. So in an effort to introduce aspects of REPROGRAM to the community, we'll launch a satellite version of the program in partnership with the York City School District. This will consist of adding additional enrichment programs to the York City School District's already existing after-school program, as well as summer enrichment opportunities throughout the city. The goal was to establish a following, support other community programs, and to begin building relationships with the population that we will serve once our building is complete. Initial programming will be geared towards upper elementary and middle school students with the goal of incorporating high school students once our space is operable. That is all I have for updates right now, and I thank you for your support, and I'm hoping to be able to come back one day and give you some more outcomes. Thank you.
I'm Dan Lentz. I'm here to, oh, you can back it up a slide. We're not have to go there yet, but I'm just here to talk a little bit about the kind of our timeline, point out that with the blessing of the mayor's office, we were able to secure some ARPA funding, not only to help with the rec center, but also to help Diaz get his reprogram off the ground. And I'm pleased to hear that he's able to get, cooperation with the York City School District so we can, get that started before the rec center is ready to go, and then we can roll right into that. So we're hoping, it's my goal to have reprogram and Diaz off the ground this year. And then Belinda could probably talk a little bit more about the rec center timeline, but we'd be looking to open that up in 2025. So with that, I'll bring up Belinda so we can go over the rec center.
Thanks, Dan. Hi, everybody. I don't have the clicker, so I'm going to rely on others here. We are looking at the Sylvia Newcomb Center, the former Pine Street School, 301 East Philadelphia Street. You can go to the next slide. The thing that I personally like about this is it's never been on the tax rolls. So we're not taking anything off the tax rolls to have a building, which is great. This was built in about 1898, 1899, purchased from the school district in 1958, and then renamed, which was the Pine Street School to the Pine Street Center, and then renamed in 1975 for Sylvia Newcomb, who was the director of public recreation in the city for like 30 or 40 years. So it is now the Sylvia Newcomb Center. Had a new HVAC system and roof put on in 2011 and is very, very, very much underutilized. So you get a next slide. You can see inside, that's the back area. You can see the parking lot from the back. And sorry, it's Google, it's not great. And I think if the next slide works, yeah, didn't. We're envisioning the addition onto the side of this building. So what we would like to see, and what Diaz and the reprogram initiative needs, is multi-purpose gymnasium, gymnatorium space where we can play a game of basketball or do all kinds of activities. So the next slide, you'll see the building inside. Generally 4 big rooms on 3 levels. However, on the next slide, you'll see it also needs a little bit of work. So as with many buildings built in 1890s, time does not do it well. So we do have a lot of work ahead of us to fix it up. The next 3 slides, I believe, just show you kind of the current layout. So again, 4 rooms and storage. Next slide. The main level is, in fact, you can see the senior lounge, the card room, the teenage lounge, the recreation office. These are drawings from the mid-90s when it was heavily used. And then the upper floor is a workshop room, craft area, recreation services, and a public meeting spaces. So we're taking that building. We're going to flip it on its side here for the drawings, and the next slide will show what we envisioned as be happening. And much credit to Warehouse. Has been a great firm to be working with. We've been through multiple iterations with this, where these are our schematic drawings now, and we're going to work with these actually next week and start getting pricing, which is my world, the most important thing. But you'll see the gymnatorium or basketball court addition. This is on the lower level. There's a gym space, a cardio space, obviously locker rooms, a kitchen, and a pantry, as well as a laundry facility for children to come here and do their own laundry or to do laundry for the facility. And of course, storage space. We move up to the next level and we do a grand entrance. Oh, you did keep the zoom in. Okay, that's a zoom in on here. Dan was supposed to take those out, but that's okay. That's and then the next level is the next slide. You will see an overlook that you can see from the main level. Again, it's kind of like a bi-level house. It's half in the ground and half out. So when you're up on the main level, and it's got like 14-foot high ceilings, it's a huge building. You'll be able to look into the gym from the second level. And then in here, we've got multi-purpose classroom space. We've got a library. We've got meeting space. We've got office space and small meeting rooms, as well as a dance studio area and a sound room for video mixing or sound recording. Again, all served by an elevator, all ADA accessible. And so this becomes the main floor for classroom and education and all of the programming with the reprogram initiative. And then, since we're dreaming big and we're budgeting things, this will probably zoom in again on the next slide. Yep, there you go. Zoomed in again. And then there's the upper floor. then becomes, depending on budget, it becomes the new city health center. So right now, the health offices are located in a wing of City Hall and cramped for space. And we have the Health Bureau Annex at 300 West Philadelphia, at the Economic Alliance area. And they struggle not being under the same building. So the upper floor of this building and above the gymnatorium can now become community health, HIVs, STD, communicable diseases, as well as our lab, our inoculation center, everything that we need for health, all in one location. So that is the vision of things moving forward. I don't know what the next two slides are, probably zoomed in on this. Yep, health offices, meeting space, storage. Health needs a lot of storage. And then the next one is probably the clinic, the brand new relocated clinic. And I will talk a little bit about the budget and where we stand. Credit to the mayor and the city council. They provided $1.5 million in ARPA funding towards this project, another 800,000 towards the reprogram initiative. So we've got 2.3 coming in from the city itself. I was successful in the application for a RACP grant, or Redevelopment Assistance Program grant, which is another 1.5. So we're at about $3.8 million going into this. Architects, fees, soft costs, some other initiatives will come off of that, of course. So we're at about right now at about a $3.25 million budget for construction. And our first run through on pricing of this was about 6.9. So we've got some value engineering to do and some more fundraising to do. The state just released a grant 2 weeks ago, COVID-19 health grant for community service buildings that provide recreation and health services. Like, they wrote it for us. So we are just thrilled about that. And that's up to $2 million. So obviously we're applying for that as well. So we're trying to close the gap. Worst case is we will build this in phases. These gentlemen will get in first. We'll build the exterior space. We'll do the addition, and we'll fit out a shell for future expansion. But we're real cognizant of the timeline. We will be under contract with contractors by the end of this year per ARPA requirements. And we're pushing hard to get this done. Envision 6 to 9 months construction, roughly. We should be open summer, fall at the worst of next year. We'll be having a big ribbon cutting out here with you.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Thank you all.
So as you can see, we have a lot to be excited about in 50 West King Street. Specifically with this program that you all have been taking the journey with us on, we are proud and we're excited, one, with what we're going to be able to do with the soft rollout to the school district, to be able to get kids excited, get parents and get our community used to the REPROGRAM name and brand itself, so they know what kind of trusted programming will be happening once we do get the building open, by it being able to participate in and enjoy all the things that they'll be doing with Diaz's crew during the day-to-day in their own school buildings. And then once Blanda and Lentz and the rest of the team get chance to actually get the brick and mortar done and we get chance to open those doors, we're extremely excited about what is going to happen in there, the magic that'll take place in there, what it's going to mean to kids and youth with respect to recreation, but also families and the parents moving forward. Because what you don't see inside of those drawings is in the laundry space, the fact that our young people who on a day-to-day struggle because they don't have clean clothes are going to be able to take their laundry there and launder them. What you don't see in the gym and cafetorium is on a day-to-day basis, we'll have a person that's going to be teaching culinary to young people and home economics and being able to help make sure they're eating a warm meal each evening. What you won't see yet depicted on here is the partnership we're already in the process of bringing on with WellSpan to actually be able to do workforce development for their non-college careered positions, the hundreds of jobs and openings that they already have, like phlebotomy, that will be able to instruct our young people and get them prepared to do some of those, take on some of those roles. All this life will be taking place there in the REPROGRAM Rec Center, and I'm proud to be able to put our patch on it. So with that, I will just say in conclusion that I think it was extremely fitting, the scripture that was read at the start of this program, because the one thing I want to be able to say and I'm most proud of is that in my time here, I think we embodied beating swords into plowshares. So thank you all for having us. We appreciate you all for allowing us the time and to be able to take this journey with us, and keep watching because we have a lot of things coming next. And God willing, if I am blessed to be able to move on to a different role and take on a different office, we'll be able to stand here in front of you with even more that we're doing as a city to make this a better place, not only for our officers and not only for the individuals who work for city government, but also the business community, the people that live here, and the people that we hope to attract in the future moving forward. So thank you again. Appreciate it. With that, I think we're opening up. We have time for a few questions. I believe I didn't get the hook pulled on me yet.
Thank you. A question about the Newcomb Center, and I asked this question because of curiosity. I'm trying to take a shot. What are your budgetary constraints or concerns going forward as to what it's going to take to staff the center and to maintain it?
Well, we presently actually, aside from the money Blanda spoke about, we actually have ARPA funding set aside for the baseline number of positions that'll be functioning there. We have a full-time staff member Diaz has asked for that will actually be the facilitator. And then each of the, I believe you refer to them as specials, enrichment specials, will have enrichment specialists, part-time positions that will also be funding. So we have enough funding to get it off the ground and get the doors open and get it working and be able to show that proof of concept. And then it'll be up to me to either one, do what I do and find grants and opportunities to be able to generate additional funding, or potentially with a different hat on, be able to fund the program moving forward.
Thanks for being here, and good luck with the different hat. Maybe that's where you find the other $3 million or something. But I'm just curious, how do you anticipate collaborating with people like Tavon and like the Advantage program when you do this?
I promise, I swear to the rest of the group, he's not a plant. I didn't have him set that question up for me, but that is literally the benefit and the most exciting thing about REPROGRAM and what we're doing. When we first started taking this journey, people would often ask me like, hey, Muldrow, like, are you trying to get in the rec center? Are you trying to get in the youth programming space? And I'm able to say we are not. Our function, our role as the York City Police Department is to provide the brick and mortar space to individuals like Tavon Parker, Cal Weary, and everybody else that offers amazing, Kat Rossum, that offer amazing programming in this community, but struggle to be able to afford the space to be able to facilitate their program and offer it either free or at low cost to youth and the families. So where we come in as York City Police Department, being able to go across the aisle and pull funds from all direction, is to be able to provide that brick and mortar space. And then we have an individual like Diaz Woodard who has already attracted all of those folks, whether it's an Antoine Dorm, a Cal Weary, a Kat Rossum, and everybody else. He has already networked with them because of his reputation and have them on board with coming to facilitate in the space for us. So we're just the middleman, and I'm proud of that. And then the byproduct of that is it creates a location for us to be able to have our officers take their uniforms off, take their guns off, and be able to engage with young people in a safe space in a meaningful way. So thank you so much. I swear I didn't ask him this. Anybody else? If not, it's okay. We'll be around after.
What is the state of organized or gang-related crime in the city? We don't see as much reference to these things in the newspaper reports as we did, and I'm taking that as a good sign. But every now and then, we're still seeing sort of well-established York gangs being mentioned when violent crime comes up. And the fact that York still remains on I-83 and seems to be able to import a lot of crime from other places.
Absolutely. Great question. And we got a chance to touch on that a little bit, but, and Lance, I'll let you correct me or chime in with any of the statistics, but I believe we are currently on pace, or we've just coming off of a 70% reduction, 75% reduction in gun-related homicides, which is a near record for us as a city, period. 80% reduction in shots fired calls. 60% reduction in shots. It's 80% reduction in shots fired calls, 60% reduction in non-fatal shootings. And the GMI, when we say GMI, it's group member involved. So that will be the individuals that we already have identified that are participating in gang behavior. The reduction in, but the homicides that we actually had, the single digit homicides we actually had last year, which is some of the lowest York City has ever seen. It was, I believe, a third. Yeah, it was a minimal number of those individuals. So we found, and that was one of the reasons why I invited Dave Sunday here today. We found that we are right now clicking on all cylinders with our GVI program, and the work that we're doing with those individuals in gangs or groups has been extremely effective. We've been able to get the message out, and surprisingly enough, I can stand here in front of you and say, without a doubt, they're listening. We actually have proof in writing from some of the young individuals who have been able to message and send messages to people like Tiff Lowe that actually communicated to us. You asked us to stop shooting. We've stopped shooting. Some of the things that you still see in the news and in the newspaper with respect to the crime and the homicides that happen have no gang-related ties or involvement at all. It's just human beings being human beings, since they were when Cain first hit Abel. And we're fighting to stop those too, as best as we can, by just changing culturally how people respond to conflict. And we're diving into that territory. It's funny because last week, as we stand here today, last week, we're just coming off of being able to take our entire detective bureau down to the food bank to spend the day handing out food and helping to stock shelves and move stuff to people's cars, just because for the first time in years that I can remember, we just had no table full of cases for them guys to work on. So we were able to spend our day reaching out and truly serving our community. So thank you. So yeah, I think that the work that's getting done in York City, I want to thank Dave, thank all of our other partners, is truly what you're seeing. You're seeing the results of good planning, good people, and a lot of effort coming together, and great things that leaders in the past put in place being brought to fruition the way they were meant to be done, and doing it by everybody partnering together. So thank you for the question. I feel like you teed me up also to be able to brag a little bit about the men and women that work here, but also the community, because at the end of the day, whether we have 84 officers, whether we have 115, you truly get change when you get the community to buy in, when you get people to realize that we're better than that. We're better than all the shooting that we were seeing in years past, and people are buying into that. That's what we're seeing. That's what I think we're spurring with things like the scholarship program, being able to take some of these young guys who had would-be shooters and tell them, look, if you put your gun down, I'll send you to hack. And that's literally, as a department, the kind of thing that we're doing now that we've never tried to broach in the past. So, and I think all those things come together to get you what you've seen in the last year, those numbers, those results, and proof that it's possible. In the back.
My question is about another indication of trust from the community toward the department. When something bad does happen, are you seeing better information, confidentially or otherwise, coming from the neighborhoods to the department than perhaps you had earlier in your career, based on greater trust and greater engagement with the community?
I love this room. This, Mayor Bracy, I love this room. You guys make it easy. Absolutely. Where we're at today versus where we were, is incredible. The amount of information that's free flowing. And when I initially started, when I came back 3-4 years ago, it was people trusting me and a lot of information being communicated to me. People either stopping me or messaging me, stopping my wife, stopping my mom at church, and sending tips and information. Now that I've gotten our brand up to where it needs to be, people feel comfortable reaching out to our department, period, and they're sharing information with respect to incidents that do take place. And I wish Commander Baez was here. He would tell you, because this has never been the case. We have individuals who send us video before we knew we had an incident. At this point now, they're emailing us videos and everything else, sharing information before we're even knowing that it's taken place. We have just the level of cooperation that we're getting from the community now is something that I think a lot of our department never would have expected, but seeing it now and seeing how the community has embraced us, even the most hardened officers in our department, they're starting to like it. They're starting to like it. They're starting to enjoy it. And because of it, it's waking them back up and they're catching fire too. So, like I said, we couldn't get it done without the relationship, and that relationship took the effort that it took and the money that we spent and the time that we put into investing in the community to win back that trust. So thank you again.
Mike and your entourage. It's great that we have these fine community leaders to uplift our youth and our community, but nothing says service above self quite like a community recreation and health center for our city. And it sounds like the project is heading in the right direction, and we are so glad to learn the support that you are already receiving. Thank you for what you're doing and keep up the good work. In honor of today's program, Mike has signed the book platelet, A Testament of Hope by Martin Luther King Jr., and it will be donated to York Catholic High School. Rosie, pay attention to this, along with a bookmark created from Creative York for your book. And if you thought this was a great program, and indeed it was, wait till you hear what we have for next week. We're going to hear from Alice Ann Frost, the Executive Director of York Tech Centro, for an enlightening discussion on the topic of workforce training and development in York County and abroad. Alice Ann will share the latest information on workforce development in York and specifically the efforts taking place through the York Tech Centro. She will lead an engaging discussion that presents the current needs of the community and plans for addressing those needs in York Tech Centro's model. Most importantly, Alice Ann will demonstrate how the issue of workforce development in York County impacts the whole community, from individuals to businesses, and why we must work together to create opportunities for better employment. Having said that, have an amazing Rotarian week. This meeting is adjourned.